All right, hey everybody, welcome back to our next episode of Thriving on Mission. I'm the host, Matt Rogie, and I'm here with producer Quinn Harris. What's up, Quinn?
What up?
And we are right at the end of April, and I'm with a very special guest this week. Super excited. And so everybody, this is Amanda Brady. Say hey, Amanda.
Hello.
So we've got a great episode planned this week. Amanda, I've known her now, for 2.5 years, I think?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. And we can talk more about, again, how we met, because, again, it's just awesome, cool, how that worked out. And, but I'm really excited. And just for everybody who's listening right now, and I think it's so funny, a lot of our, Quinn and I sometimes have conversations before the show starts. And, and we were just having this conversation before we started recording. Mm-hmm. And you were learning about Twitch, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just learned about Twitch.
Sure. Just learned about Twitch. And for, for people who might not know, Twitch is it's an online streaming service where people can basically stream. It started off for people to stream video games.
Yes.
And because you were talking about the fact that you just found like a Nintendo 64, right?
Yeah, the original Nintendo. Well, in the last podcast, I saw the Nintendo on the shelf. I found my Nintendo. And now I learned that I can sit on the couch and play it and stream.
That's right. And make money.
It's my new calling.
That's right. Yeah.
It's my new calling.
You never know. You never know. So, so just having fun with that. And we will follow up with that, though. I'm serious.
I'm going to learn.
Because we want Cooper to be in that, too. Cooper's your dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. How old's Cooper?
Cooper is 7.
Cooper's 7.
Yeah.
Miniature.
He's a miniature poodle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks like a pup.
Yep. So just, for everybody, so we met 2.5 years ago when a mutual friend of ours, Brittany,
Yes.
invited you to come to our small group, our Bible study, right?
That's right.
Yeah. And from there, it's just been, we didn't let you go after that, right?
All uphill since then. Yep. It's true.
Yeah. We could have a long conversation, I think, about community and how important that is. And
yeah, I mean, that would take a whole session here, but it was good community is a game changer.
Yeah.
So
right.
Made all the difference in my my Savannah life.
Yeah. And I mean, I think for all of us too in the group, for everybody, the fact that we have that close-knit community, and then especially in times like this right now with social isolation and distancing or whatever we want to call it right now. I'm not sure.
Yeah, to be able to have our group every single week has been, has made all the difference right now, still being able to do that every week.
Right. And,
awesome.
Go through ups and downs, like with health issues and this and that. And, last week, Quinn and I, we talked about a book, and it was a book by a Navy SEAL, and he sort of gave these 10 things that, basically things that could change your life and maybe change the world. And one of them is don't do life alone, basically. Mm-hmm. And, and how he was advocating just, and he took this from a SEAL training, the fact that they rely, on their buddy teams or.
Right.
But that was so much as we were talking about it, and as I think more about it, and again, of what we strive to do in our small group, that idea of accountability, of community, and the fact that I know that, Stacy and I, if we need something, we can call you.
Right.
And you'll, whatever it might be. And the same thing, with anybody in our group, the fact that we can do that.
Right, yeah.
And you're right, it's a game changer. But yeah, we could talk a lot about community, and maybe someday, you even said, hey, let's do a mobs podcast. And
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
We should do that.
That's right. I don't think the listeners, I don't think they know what mobs is. And so I'm just going to lay that one aside for right now. And we'll just say, hey, that's going to be a future episode, and they can learn what mobs is all about.
Yeah.
And because, it's awesome.
That one would be worth tuning into.
Yeah. So one of the other things that, from last week that we talked about from this book, and this guy's an Admiral McRaven, and he said one of his items was to give people hope. And so last week when we were in small group, you were just sort of sharing what was going on in your life. And as you were sharing it, and I was hearing, and Stacy and I were listening. We were doing this over Zoom, as many people are right now. They're doing these Zoom small groups or something like that. And you started talking about what you're up to, and really, I thought about two things. One, I thought, again, how much joy, Stacy and I were seeing in you, and just hearing in your voice and seeing in your face, and it was because that, I think you even said something to the effect of you were giving people hope, and anytime in the world when somebody can do that, I think there's value, but especially right now. So I'm going to stop talking for a minute, and I want you to sort of share, what's life like for you before COVID-19?
Okay.
Just sort of generally, what do you do? Where are you from?
All right. So I am an occupational therapist, and I work with geriatrics. The job that I do right now, or that I was doing, I'm furloughed right now. So the job that I do is pretty autonomous. For the most part, working alone on my own schedule all day, but I work with elderly patients in their homes, in assisted livings, trying to keep them functionally independent so that they can stay in their homes and avoid hospitals and things like that. So I drive around to different parts of Savannah. That's what I was doing before all of this happened.
Okay.
And then there have been a few drastic changes.
Yeah, just like, everybody.
Like everybody.
Everybody in the world, right? Right. Yeah. Are you from Savannah?
No, I'm from North Georgia.
Okay.
I've been in Savannah. It'll be 10 years this summer.
Gotcha.
So liked Savannah, decided to stay.
Yeah. So your family's back in Savannah? Or
No, they're in North Georgia.
North Georgia.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All of my family
Gotcha.
is in North Georgia.
Gotcha. When was the last time you saw them?
So right when this happened, I was at home. And then, in fact, I found out I was going to be furloughed while I was at home. So I knew that if I left and came back to Savannah, then I couldn't go back and see them until this is all over with. So that was probably, it's been 6 weeks. Okay.
So in this time, so you talked, about 6 weeks ago, you found out you're going to get furloughed. Yeah. And, as many people have found out, and some people have lost their jobs as well. And so I think, you were starting to figure out, all right, what am I going to do, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember you even asking, you're like, hey, does anybody have any side jobs I can come do? Or
yeah, what do you do all day long?
And so, and you wanted to stay, I guess, busy.
Yeah.
Because you might not say it, or maybe I can't remember if you do say this or not, but you're an extrovert.
Oh, yeah.
You love to be around people, right?
Yes.
That's something, Stacy and I, we see that in you, and you're just a people person, and and again, I'm gonna side note, because I think it's a really cool story, as an occupational therapist, and we were talking about that for a few minutes beforehand, but the fact that you love working with people and helping people.
Yep.
Without a doubt. And there was a lady, the boxing lady.
Oh, yeah.
Could you just, just briefly, what was her deal, the boxing lady?
Okay, so there was I had a client that I was working with one time. She was 97 or 98 years old. Anyways, she had just kind of gotten very debilitated, was kind of borderline of should she still be living alone or not. And anyway, so she got therapy in. We came in, and she was very timid and very scared, and scared to move, because with older people, they fall a lot,
right.
And that's not okay, and that's not normal. So we started working on her with balance and strength training and all of these things. And as her confidence grew, she was willing to do more fun exercise things. And so we had her outside, and we're asking, and she also was a movie buff too. So we asked her if she knew about was it Rocky?
Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky movie. And she was like, yeah, I know that. So we played
the Eye of the Tiger, right?
The Rocky theme song, and had her at the top of some like steps,
Right.
boxing, and she was going at it and just so confident, loved it, had a great time. But that's the boxing story.
Yeah. Yeah. I just remember, and again, I remember that story. I'm sure everybody in mobs remembers that story because, again, it was joyful to us. It brought us joy, but the fact, and again, just like right now, when you tell that, you exude joy.
Yeah.
Because, it was something because you're helping this person and you're, so, you're not one just to sit idle and the status quo for the, and we understand too that life happens.
Yeah. I can enjoy being alone, but I'm
right.
energized by people.
Right. Yeah.
For the most part.
Right. So furlough happens.
Furlough happened.
And so what have you been doing for 6 weeks? Just nothing?
Oh, not nothing. I've been actually very busy. So you want the story? How things unfolded? Bring it. So furlough happened. I was doing just regular busy things, projects that I had been needing to do, or like right up front. And then I would say probably so this was maybe about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks. I can't remember how long this has been going at this point. Probably going on 4 weeks now. But anyways, I started seeing all the people that are working. And because I'm in the medical field, most of my friends are in the medical field. So a lot of my friends are still working. They're in the hospitals. And as this, all the stuff with the coronavirus has continued peaking, since furlough started, people are then like masking and wearing gloves and all of that. So I started seeing things like my friends posting that people had made headbands with buttons and donated because apparently the mask bands were hurting their ears. And then my best friend texted me a picture of a really cool plastic contraption that somebody had made and donated to the hospital for the same purpose of like getting the bands off of your ears with the mask. And she was like, "You crochet, I feel like you could make something." And I was like, I should be able to make something, I do crochet. So I sat down, made up a little band. Probably took me like 2 tries to get the length right. Okay. I tried it on myself. Okay. Did some product testing in my house to make sure it wasn't going to fall off. And then I did. I just took a picture of it on me. I texted it out to a couple of my friends that are working in Savannah, and I was like, "Hey, I made these. If these will be useful to you guys, like while you're working, it keeps the band off your ears." And they like immediately wrote back and was like, "Oh my gosh, can I get some for me and my coworkers?" One of the girls worked at South Coast here in Savannah. Made some for my coworkers, and they were like, "Yeah, we need these. Like our ears hurt." So that same day, I decided I was like, "Let me just put this on my neighborhood Facebook page." Okay. And so I got on Facebook, posted the same picture, and I was like, "Hey, I just created this design for my friends that are still working. If you or a family member is still working and need this, I would love to gift one." And got off there, didn't think much about it. I got back on later that afternoon, and it had blown up. Like, everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, our ears are killing us. We were just talking about this. This is perfect. How can we buy these? How can never expected that." Wow. And so that was the beginning.
That was the beginning. And I think at that point is when you sent the text out to mobs and said...
I sent it to mobs first.
And you said, "Hey, what are we going to call..." Or did we have a contest or something? Or
yeah, I was polling you guys for a name.
Right. That's right.
And then the South Coast crew got some of the first ones.
That's right.
Yeah, so they said Manders button bands, because Manders is a nickname of mine. And then it turned into, with mobs, Brady's button bands. And then it turned into Manda Bands, and now it's Amanda Bands.
Amanda Bands. Okay. All right. So that's the official name, Amanda?
Manda Bands is already a real name.
Okay.
For
oh, really? Else. Oh, somebody else? Oh, wow.
There's a page for it.
Did they steal your idea?
I think they did.
Wow. We might have to look into that.
No, it's a very different Manda Band, but
gotcha.
It's the name.
So Amanda Bands.
Amanda Bands.
That's awesome. So from that point, I assume that you started selling them probably and just making tons of money and
so wealthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's That's not how that worked. I put it out there as a gift. I wanted to be able to gift them to people. Did not anticipate the volume that people were going to be needing them. But so I thought about it because people were like, we'll pay you for these or, whatever.
Right.
My intention was to try to still keep it as a gift. And that's just when, all of the cool things started unfolding. So I said, I'll keep this as a gift. People wanted them like right then that day. And so this is in the middle of, social distancing.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to be isolating at home, not going out. So
Right.
I was like, I don't even know how to get these to people, because again, I thought it was going to be like 10 and all of these people wanted them immediately.
Right.
So that same day I was like, wow, I have no idea how to even get these to you guys. So I said, I'll go to the Kroger gas station at 5:30. If anybody wants one, meet me up there. And so I put on my mask with my band and sat in the gas station parking lot and then...
Wait a sec. So you just said, hey, I'll be up here at the gas station.
At the gas station, handing out bands. And so I took the few, because this was all the same day. And I took just the few that I had and I went up there. I was in a mask.
Mm-hmm.
People came by and
what happened when the first person came by?
Well, I was just, it was like a weird, we were just at the gas station parking lot and...
How did you know? How did they know?
It was awkward because I'm wearing a mask.
Right.
And just kind of sitting in my car over to the side and another car comes up, awkwardly parks beside me and we're just kind of looking at each other. And they look at me and I look at them and I just waved like this and I was like pointing at the mask and they were shaking their heads. So I was like, they're here for the bands.
That's a little shifty, Amanda.
Yeah. That's how I do business.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like...
So, yeah. And then it's like, it's such a weird time. People are supposed to be like washing their hands. So I just go up to their car.
Okay.
I had them and I was like...
So first car came there and you got out of the car at that point and then...
Yeah, I got out and so I said, you just look in, tell me what color you want.
Right.
So I'm like going through things, they're looking and then I just hand them in the car.
Okay.
And then...
And the deal's done.
And the deal is done. And then it naturally, like another person came in and they saw me, figured out who I was.
Oh, okay.
And so then it turned into like a little drive-through. Just very naturally.
So like first car's there, but then like another car pulled up and they were like, oh wait.
And they were like, hey, this must be that girl.
So they got in line.
They got in line and a line formed. And so
at the Kroger gas station.
At the Kroger gas station. And so from
on
then
Wilmington
out,
Island.
I ended up doing 4 meetups.
Wow.
After that. And so it became a joke. I was like, I'll stand at my car, form a line. And one of the times was so awesome because people were needing the bands and I got there on time, which is awesome.
I will have to say congratulations on that one, Amanda.
Listen, this furlough time has made me very on time for things because
awesome.
There are so few things I need to be at. So I've been able to be on time for all of them.
Awesome.
I got there on time and there was a line of cars waiting.
Out. No way.
And I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I stand there, masked, gloved, and people just drive by and they're like blue, black, and pink. Hand them in the car. So yeah, I kept them free, but people were asking if they could donate and I opened it up to accepting donations and it's just been so stinking cool because people were writing, hey, do you need buttons? Do you need yarn?
Right.
I love what you're doing. I want to help keep it going. So that's
awesome.
how it is. It's still no cost, but donation only. And
right.
And now I would say I'm primarily I haven't done any more meetups because people are ordering them for departments. So
gotcha.
They're like, we need this for all of labor and delivery or the critical care nurses, or I work at a midwife place. I mean, everybody's masking. And so
right.
somebody reached out to me that works in one of the departments at Walmart and a FedEx driver. I mean, people don't like these bands
right
on their ears.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. So, why didn't you start charging for them?
Um,
What's the motive?
well, so I guess a couple of things. Like, you can't offer something as a gift and then turn around and be like, oh, now I'm going to charge for it. And really, to be honest, I had to check my own motives after that, because so many people were like, I want to pay you for these. Let me pay you for these. And I was like, should I do this? But my original intention was I wanted to be able to gift them. So many people are working and are like exhausted, working long hours and like dealing with this coronavirus in very different ways than people that are staying at home. And so, I mean, somebody did ask me that, and I said, probably just motivated by, I guess you could say like love. Like, I just love my community and I love Savannah. But like bigger than that, you know, I said that I love Jesus and Jesus loves people, and I wanted to like love on people the best way that I can. And it's hard to do it in such a strange season where you can't go out and love on people, you know, so this is the best thing that I could do from home. And I had time and the talent to do it. So
yeah, it's like a perfect recipe.
Yeah, I mean, the perfect storm just fell into my lap and has escalated from there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been really cool.
Yeah, I think, you know, this has really caused things like that to happen. And for people, you know, since I work with, you know, our church and even having discussions here with the church here, that it's changed the way we do ministry in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And we have to figure out, you know, and again, because, I mean, Jesus is still Jesus right now. But, and we still need to be loving people, helping them regardless of who they are, their circumstances, and that's going to look different now. And so I think that's really awesome. And again, I think, you know, just to see your joy to come from it is pretty awesome, and to be able to watch you, you know, because we've been meeting every week since, well, for 2.5 years now for the most part. In our small group. And so, but especially over the last 3-4 weeks, watching you go through this, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So my understanding is that they're not necessarily Amanda bands. Well, yeah, I guess we could say Amanda bands. I mean, are they just, you know, here in Georgia?
Well, okay. So another interesting thing happened. I was making posts again on my community page, on Facebook, doing the meetups, and a news reporter saw my post and saw like what was happening and what they were, and asked if she could do a story. And I was like, sure. And again, I was like, how is this going to work? You know, and so I told her, I said, I have a meetup planned this afternoon at the gas station if you want to come. So she came to that, and it ended up doing a whole story, interviewed me about it, and came to the meetup, doing the drive-through, giving out the bands. And it has been so awesome because I've seen how social media can have such a big impact, like in a positive way.
Right. And
so after the story ran and it went on the news, I shared it just because it was such a cool opportunity. 'Cause, I mean, I'm furloughed. I thought I was going to be doing nothing for all this time, and I have been super busy every single day. And so anyways, I ran it, and I was like, you know, cool things can come out of, you know, bad circumstances. And this was something, one, that was completely unexpected, and two, it would have never happened if I hadn't been furloughed. I wouldn't have had time, you know, and so it would have never happened. So anyways, it was cool. I think it was perfectly orchestrated. And so anyways, after that, the story the news story, I posted it, and then everybody shared it, which was insane because nobody's looking at my Facebook regularly. And so it was shared so many times. And again, because I'm in the medical community.
Right.
the next day after that, I woke up and I had messages from people in New Jersey, Massachusetts, Nebraska, New York, California. And I was asking them, I was like, how did you find out about this? And it got shared to occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy websites. Different people posted it. Those people then shared it. And so, again, I was like, I want to keep this as it was like originally intended. Mm-hmm. So people started writing me, other crocheters around the country, wanting to know if they could make them and do the same where they lived. So I ended up...
For themselves? I mean, like, are they making these bands for themselves?
No,
or?
they want to do what I'm doing, like what I'm doing down here. And so they asked for the pattern. And again, because it was a gift, I was like, all right. And so I said, I'll share the pattern. I did ask, like just for the fun side of things.
Right.
Call them Amanda bands, try to keep them free. And if you can, take pictures and send it back. Like, I want to see how far this thing goes. And so I've shared my pattern with people in pretty much all of those places. So I know right now there's people all over the country, and down in Florida, California, Massachusetts. I just gave it to somebody in Iowa.
That's crazy.
Different places that are making the exact same bands, handing them out to their hospitals and their grocery stores. And
wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's exciting.
It's very exciting.
Just so only in the United States?
Well, I got one message from a girl that was trying to get a band. And I said, oh, are you here in Savannah? And she said, no, I'm in Northern Ireland. And I was like, how did that happen?
Right. Yeah. Were you able to figure that out?
No.
Wow.
No, I probably should go back and re-message her and figure out how she even knew about
That's
this.
incredible.
It's wild.
That's incredible. So not only, and again, I think this is so much your personality and the way you're wired, and a lot of things, that we talk about and we study, in our small group too, in the Bible, but this idea of not only you're doing something to individually help one person, mm-hmm. each band to help one person, but because of your story, it inspired others then to say, you know what, I can do that too.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great lesson, because we're all human, and we all probably at times, one time or another, we're going to shortchange ourselves about what we can do, what we're capable of. There's no way I could do that. There's no way I have nothing to offer, right? Because people are going to think that. And even if you isolate yourself, which we're in this time, that can happen. But, now you've got your little army of crocheters.
That's right.
Crocheters? Is that what we call them?
Crocheters, that's right.
Yeah.
We are making crochet cool again.
Making crochet cool again. That could be like a t-shirt.
I think it should be. I've been hated on many a times for being like a 90-year-old woman because I crochet.
I'm married to a crocheter too.
I know.
Yeah. Yes.
She's a good woman.
Yes, she is. I agree 1,000%. 1,000%. Yeah. So, but it's inspired others then to say, you know what, in fact, there's somebody like a really good friend now that you have in Hilton Head, right?
Yeah, I've made a friend. Have never met her, but a lady by the name of Ann reached out to me and said, I like what you're doing. Can I have the pattern? And so anyways, we ended up talking on the phone, and we had like a 30-minute conversation. Ann was very energetic, very
wow,
on fire, wanting to do this. And so what she was wanting to do was, again, she wanted the pattern. She could crochet. She had the time, the materials, all that stuff. And so she already had it. She wanted to make them and start handing them out. And she said, I have family. Most of my family lives up in Jersey. And so several of them work in hospitals. I want to make them and send them there. So she sent a few up there. She just contacted me earlier this week, said that she's got 70 bands ready to go. She's sending them up to Jersey.
Wow.
To the hospital staff up there. And then she's going to start making them and handing them out at Publix and Walgreens and all the stores that are making them. So
that's awesome.
I plan to try to meet her
when
all of these restrictions are lifted.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Let's see. Yeah, that's just, incredible. They're in New York City, correct?
They are. Well, they're either getting there today or they're on their way.
Okay.
So one of my very best friends is
Christy, right?
Yeah, Christy is now working in where the tent hospitals have been set up in Central Park. And then they have another branch somewhere else close by. And so she went up there to work for this coronavirus relief up there. And, it's the same story as here. It's very long hours that they're working. They're masked the whole time. And so she and I were talking, and she said, asked if I could send some up. And I was like, absolutely. So I got the bands together and sent an order up this week. So they'll be going up to New York, or should be getting there maybe today to New York for the tent hospitals.
That's awesome.
And the people in the other ones around it. Yeah.
That's very cool. Exciting stuff.
It's been really awesome.
Yeah. So with all this too, and I think it would be good for the listeners, because one of the reasons that I started this show and what it sort of came out of was sort of telling my story, and again of how I was able to go from a position of maybe just surviving, mentally, due to post-traumatic stress and the anxiety that comes with that, the depression sometimes, into, all right, what's a mindset of thriving and what that looks like. And, and again, you shared your story with us and I would just, has it always been, life just been super awesome for you? And
awesome. Yes.
Right. Overall. Right.
Level.
Yeah.
But no, like as far as like regular everyday work, it can be stressful sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Right.
And again, I thrive on people and, and that kind of thing. And again, I work pretty autonomously in my job. And so sometimes that can be very isolating.
Yeah.
Like depending on what my day looks like. And this has just been an opportunity to connect with so many different people through so many different outlets. I mean, even just in the brief moments at the gas station. I mean, people were sticking their head out of their car windows and being like, oh, I work over here at Memorial, or I'm in Candler. And they're just telling me like a brief 3-minute story about their life. But I love that.
Wow.
And I mean, I think I said to you guys, I was like, this is what like fuels me and fills me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because it's, you see a need, meet a need. That's the kind of mentality. But this is something so small, but it's making a difference. It's helping.
Yeah.
So
that's incredible.
That's what I like. That's what I like doing.
That's awesome. And, and it truly is. And that's what I thought last week when you were really energized and you were telling your story and sharing it with everybody in the group. I mean, you're thriving on mission right now.
Yeah.
I mean, which is, again, just an incredible thing, especially in a time to where either it's harder for some people to do it, but you were able to find a niche. You were able to, in some ways, get out of your comfort zone. I mean, you're furloughed, and what's that mean for future employment and all that stuff? There's still unknowns there, right? And health, and you're worried about your family in North Georgia.
Yeah.
But you were not one to say, I'm just going to sit at home and play Nintendo, although that might be in the future, huh?
I mean, Twitch.
That's right.
I might be playing Nintendo in the future.
So it's just such a great example, and it's an inspiration, I know, for me and for Stacy and the rest of our group, and I hope it's, it's obviously been an inspiration to a lot of people already because of that news story. And now you have people saying, I want the pattern, and which again is just this incredible thing. And so,
the other thing that I didn't mention that's been really cool too is just, I mean, I did talk a little bit about people being generous with donations, but people are being generous with their time too. Stacy being one of them. But it's not just me. There are, I could not have made it happen on my own because of the volume. So there are 5 of us that are crocheting and getting these, for just the Savannah area.
Wow.
Yeah. And so 5 people making tons of bands all the time just to try to get them out.
Yeah.
Everywhere but it's just been that kind of thing has been super cool, seeing people use their time, their talents.
Mm-hmm.
Again, people wanting to. A lady sent me an order of buttons from Atlanta. She said, I have tons of buttons. I don't sew anymore.
Wow.
Let me send you some buttons. You know, I
Right.
mean, just
Sure.
super cool stuff like that. It's been good to see.
That's awesome. So we know that here in Georgia that they're starting to lift some of the restrictions, and eventually life will get somewhat back to normal. We're going to be able to get back to, you know, any thoughts that you want to, just as far as, because this has been a big change for you to go from occupational therapist to crocheter. What's the singular of someone who crochets?
A crocheter.
Crocheter. Yeah. You know, and obviously though, you're still going to need to pay the bills and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
you know, any thoughts? Just
These are thoughts that run through my head all the time.
right.
I mean, yeah, I have loved this opportunity. It would be cool to be involved with something like this always.
Right.
I don't know what it's going to look like.
Sure.
Because at some point life will go back to normal, and
Right.
I'll go back to work, which will be great. You got to pay the bills. But this, like, I don't know. I mean, I would love to figure out how to do something of this scale, like this kind of work.
Right.
Not
Not necessarily the bands,
necessarily bands, but just something like this where, where there's see a need and you can help meet the need, you know?
Right.
But serving others where
Sure.
it's, because I will always, no matter what I'm doing, I'll always want to be interacting with people or helping people in some way.
That's awesome.
So,
Well, maybe how about I'm going to ask the people who listen to this or watch it on YouTube that maybe somebody else has an idea. I mean, we can already see what social media and crowdsourcing has done for this already. So maybe somebody else is hearing this and going, you know what? This would be great for Amanda. Or I know of something else, or I don't know. Let's just throw that out there. And is that okay? And
yeah,
you know, and so we'll put your email to you in the show notes, and I'm also going to link the story. What channel was the news?
Oh, that was WSAV down here.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and put a link to that as well. I'll put your email in there as well, so people will have that. And, or they can just contact you through my website, my Facebook. I'll tag you in the Facebook though as well, so you'll have it. But, because who knows, right?
Yeah.
Who knows?
This has been such a cool opportunity.
Yeah.
To be able to do these kinds of things all the time would be amazing.
Yeah. Anything you would want to just offer as encouragement, again, as we're still, there's different parts of the country, people are still in furlough. Anything you want to say? Just sort of a spontaneous. You're in the healthcare industry. I mean, you understand a lot of some of what's going on. And
I mean, first of all, thank you to everybody that's been working, on the front lines, whether it's in the hospital or being truck drivers or in the grocery stores, because they are working a long time under weird circumstances. I mean, you don't think about it, but when you are not used to wearing something on your face all day long, it's just added stress to the stress that's already happening. But when you're now masked and gloved and goggles and face shields, it's just a different ball game. So thank you to those people. But, for anybody else that, again, like we talked about earlier, if you think that you want to help, but you feel like you can't, there's nothing you can do. I mean, whatever you're gifted with, if you're open to it being used, I feel like any gift or talent or whatever can be used in some capacity. Because again, first of all, I never thought it would be crochet that would ever be helpful. Let's be honest. But I mean, it's just something that I can do, I can do, and it has been one of the most necessary things right now. So
that's awesome.
No matter what your talents are, they can and will be used if you're open to it, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, as we get ready to close out, just want to, got to do one more thing. And this is actually going to be on video, but we're going to have to do a deal.
Oh, what is this?
So this is from Stacy.
Yes.
So there are probably about, I don't know,
Oh,
50,
yes.
70 some bands in there. So
This makes me so excited.
yeah.
Nobody else gets as excited about crochet as I do.
That's right. So that's the good stuff too, by the way.
And this is the good stuff.
That's the good stuff.
I
So
can tell the quality,
yeah.
you know? Woo.
So who knows where those will end up, right?
No, there is no telling where they'll end up.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
That's awesome. So Amanda, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you for having
know.
me. This was so much fun.
Yeah, so much fun. And, to the listeners, again, we're excited for this episode and look forward to hearing any comments, feedback that you might have on this episode. And you can always catch us on Facebook, YouTube, the website, thrivingonmission.com, or on Twitter. So until next week, we'll see you then. Say bye, Amanda.
Bye.
See y'all.